This episode is sponsored by Supreme of the UK. Click the link in the description and support the podcast.
Well, what you saying, man? Because we got a lot to discuss today. A lot.
Pardon myself. Yeah, we do have a lot. Let me just start off by saying Rising Paradise, Uncle Donovan. Gone, but never, ever, ever, ever forgotten. Love light to the familiar. And I'll extend that out to everybody in this here plane of existence who are no longer here, especially with this madness in the so-called Middle East. We shouldn't be living this way, man. We should not be living this way in the Gregorian year 2022. So, yeah, Shalom Paradise, and trustfully, they will be in the arm.
Most definitely, Noble. Do you know what I mean? It's sad. It's sad, man. So thoughts are definitely with the family at this time. And you know how this thing goes, Noble. So, okay, we got a few bits to talk about today, people. And if for any reason, if the stream starts messing around or anything, it will just be audio. So we are recording the audio as well because there's a lot to talk about. So I want to just go straight in, Noble, this week. So I want to get into all the combat stuff on the back end of the stream because there's a lot to discuss on that side of things too. Mm-hmm. I definitely want to get into the UK MPs situation as well.
Yes.
So we'll definitely touch on that as well. But I want to start with this P. Diddy situation, Noble.
Cassie.
P. Diddy and Cassie. Now, I do want to get into this and I want to go, like you say, into the meat and bones of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe 2 days ago, the timeline, you know, when the timeline just gets taken over.
Yes.
There was all these different reports coming out about P. Diddy being called into question with his relationship with Cassie. So I was like, you know what? Usually when I look at these headlines, I read it and then I may not know the bigger picture. So I said, instead of me reading a headline and then just going off the back of the headline, let me listen to the actual details of the case. 35 pages. I went to a YouTuber who broke down each allegation. Now, Diddy had a decade-long relationship with Cassie. They kicked it off when she was 19. Some of the allegations are, we'll just go through, abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, sex trafficking, sexual abuse, a lot of other different things, a lot of mental abuse as well. So we'll just highlight a few of the.
Sorry,
go to.
This point, Stephen, I got to sex trafficking. To me, I mean, to the siblings, the squadron, the Sunstars, the Bridgemans, all of that. There, you've got a certain thing in your mind now. When you hear sex trafficking, you're thinking, okay, well, she's alleging sex trafficking. So what? P. Diddy and potentially others got her and moved her around locations for sexual purposes. Is that the thought you're getting in your head as well, sibling?
No, so the sex trafficking thing, Noble, was basically P. Diddy had a thing called, P. Diddy's got a thing allegedly called a freak off. Now, what a freak off is, Noble, is where Diddy allegedly would get a male prostitute to have sex with Cassie while he watched and played with himself. So that's the set.
Honestly.
Yeah, man. And this was going on allegedly week after week. See what I'm saying? Week after week. Now, the situation, it's already been settled, you know. Today, they settled it already. He's already settled it out of court. So that's the end of the situation. But there's no way we're not going to discuss this. So for me, it's a situation like this, and you know, I'm always gonna stand on the side of my true opinion. I'm never gonna feed into the Me Too movement and follow what they're, you know, how they do things. I'm not gonna feed into the feminist movement and how they do things. I'm not gonna feed into the mainstream narrative and how they do things. I'm going to do this thing off the back of my own opinion. Now, as far as let's start with the freak off business. Let's start with that.
Odd.
Let's start with the freak off business. So, sorry people, the fans on and off. So with this freak off thing, for me, I always go off the back of being a father to a daughter. That's how I think. I'm always thinking about what would I say to my daughter. Now, in regards to the freak off, people are saying she was scared of Diddy and Diddy's got control over her, you know, and his influence in the industry. For me, and I keep the same energy across the board, I would like anyone to pull any audio of me saying anything different. I always go off the back of my morals. There's nobody, how I'm raising my daughter, there's no man who's supposed to be able to get external men to sleep with her. That just is something that you should know is wrong. You should know that's wrong. However, a lot of people do things to further their own career. A lot of people do things to get themselves ahead in life. A lot of things are about money. So I'm not going to sugarcoat what I'm going to say. Cassie started out with an R&B singer called Ryan Leslie. You heard of that singer, Noble?
Yes, indeed, sir.
Okay. She was with Ryan Leslie. That was her boyfriend. That was her known boyfriend. People knew that Ryan Leslie, he was a top producer. Sorry about, hold on a second. I'm just making sure I haven't lost you, Noble.
You bless it.
Oh, we blessed. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So this singer, this is this Ryan Leslie guy, yeah? You got this guy called, I dropped out. Oh, sorry. If this messes up, it's audio. What we're going to go through. So, Ryan Leslie, very well-known R&B singer, behind a lot of writing. He's got a lot of credits in the R&B world as well. Cassie met P. Diddy through my man. So these are a lot of the details they're not going to speak about. We'll get into everything else as well. But she met P. Diddy through Ryan Leslie. When she met P. Diddy through Ryan Leslie, the two of her and P. Diddy put a plan together to leave Ryan Leslie behind. He was also managing her. So they put a plan together to leave that man behind. His career was actually ruined based on that situation. This is a lot of the things people don't speak about. Ryan Leslie's career was ruined off the back of his relationship with Cassie. Once P. Diddy seen Cassie and knew that he wanted her, Ryan Leslie was out the picture. For example, they done things like this, Noble. They done fake flyers to be able to get her to travel with Diddy. So they made up fake flyers that showed the images of Cassie, so her boyfriend believed that she was doing performances. That way she was able to go away with Diddy. Now, at a Jay-Z party, now I'm going off the back of the case files. I've come prepared. I'm going off the back of the case files.
You got some details.
Yeah, man, it's going on the back of the case files. They went to a Jay-Z dinner party. In that Jay-Z dinner party, she said Puff Daddy pulled her into a room and kissed her against her will. How I know all this, Aisha? I read the case details. So all my sources, I will give up. What I'll do is post a link to what I listened to. But these are the case details. She went to a party. At this party, according to the case details, everything I'm saying is according to the case details. She went to a party with Diddy. She said my man forced her into a bathroom and then kissed her. You see what I'm saying? So he's forced her into the bathroom and then he's kissed her. That's a red flag. That's a red flag, Noble.
Are they a couple at this point, or are they still kind of like doing things behind Ryan's back?
They're doing things behind Ryan's back at this point. They're doing things behind Ryan's back. You see what I'm saying? So they're doing things behind Ryan's back at this point, yeah? Now, Aisha, I'm gonna get into all of that. Let me just warm into the show, and then once Noble's talking, I can get into the links and all that. So don't worry, man. Everything I'm saying is I've got sources. So they go to this party, my man forces her into a bathroom, he then kisses her. That's a red flag, folks. Right there. That's a red flag. Not to mention all of the rumors that we've heard about Diddy in the past. We've heard loads of rumors. So that's a red flag. From that point, they start to build somewhat of a romantic relationship because she signed a 10-album deal. Now, the 10-album deal that she signed, that definitely goes under the banner of control. Yes. Unfair. That's control because he's made her sign a 10-album deal. It's a conflict of interest. Simple. So after this point, P. Diddy is showering her with gifts. You know. Drugs then get introduced to her. So he gives her a pill. Now remember, I'm on here, I'll talk straight. He gave her a pill and she took the pill. Now, people can come on here and, his influence made us get no. Someone gives you a pill, you know not to take it. I don't care who it is.
What we talking? Ecstasy
pill.
We talking about?
Ecstasy. She's popped the ecstasy pill. That's how that was introduced. When they would link up for these free cuffs, that's how alcohol was introduced because she had to take drugs and drink to a point of almost being paralytic to be able to take place, to be able to participate in these free cuffs. Come true, Nova. I got no. I'm just warming up, you know.
I know you are.
Yeah, man.
But the revelations which you're revealing, it's disappointing. Pardon self. It's disappointing. But there's no surprise. I'm not surprised. If we was to talk to our familiar in NY, they would have, at the time this was going in, they would have a lot more. They would have some more detail to add to this because as you know, the closer you are to the source, you know, especially if you within the entertainment, music industry, etc., you're gonna have a lot of information.
Aisha, hold that link there. Continue, Noble. Aisha, hold that link. Tell me what else you need, man. I'm here, man. What else you need? Hold that link, man, and pause the stream and listen to that and come back. That's from the horse's mouth. Listen, I'm not with the Me Too, fake Me Too. There is abusers out there, and Diddy probably is that. But let's go over the facts. I'm saying the same thing that I'd say if it was my daughter. I got one daughter. I'm saying the same thing.
We gotta
continue, Noble. Continue, because I'm gonna go through.
Yeah, we gotta separate the facts from emotion, and a lot of people are very emotional in regards to certain situations. Now, you know, energy, emotion, it has its place, but we gotta take the emotion and let's look at the actual content and the facts. So, it's disgusting. There's no two ways to look at it, but at the same time, we've got a young, impressionable teenager. I mean, we're still talking about she's 19, we're just turned 20, early 20s, these kind of periods still, yeah?
Yeah.
When the frontal lobe of your brain has still not functioned, and P. Diddy being, seasoned in this time, with all of the, as you say, the rumors that we've been hearing, not just about his contractual dealings with artists, but all of the other bits and pieces. So you've got that in your mind. Then you've got, as I say, a young teenage girl who is infatuated, and all she's thinking about is being successful and singing and performing. That's a lot of people's dreams. Like, we can't deny that, but it's a case of, what will I do to get to that position that I want to get to?
Exactly.
That's where I have the problem. Trustfully, she was raised, not dragged up, and she's got some kind of morals, but the morals was left at the door when, the person who's supposed to be bringing you into the industry and making you successful is saying, yo, take this ecstasy pill, which in itself is Russian roulette because, come on, people, there's not a pharmaceutical company which produces ecstasy. We've got people in very unhygienic conditions pumping out millions of these ecstasy pills. Or if we go to the West Coast, the fizz stuff, yeah? Like, it's Russian roulette. That's number one. So you're playing with your life, popping a pill which you don't even know the origins of, yeah? Some people are putting these things up their rectum to transport them. How hygienic is that stuff?
But you see, you know all this info about the ecstasy pills, so I know you know because obviously you're a person who's in the know. But the long and short of it is that if someone hands you a pill, you don't take it.
Simple.
So you took the pill. That's how drugs was introduced. Then you're drinking alcohol with my man.
Hey, let me finish off. Let me finish off with the alcohol element of it then.
Okay.
So, I've laid the bed, right? So, we've got a situation where, and this is a woman now. We're not talking about a man. Men can separate sexual relations very easily. You know, it's nothing in certain respects for us to do them kind of things. For a woman, unless, and don't get me wrong, there are women out there who have very masculine thoughts and processes around sex, but generally women, sex is a sacred kind of thing, man. It's an intimate thing. So for her to say, yo, I'm with you, Diddy, we're doing our thing, but on every Thursday we're gonna go to some place and you're gonna hire a male prostitute to come and deal with me so you can pleasure yourself while watching.
And remember, this wasn't a one-time. Listen, if this was a one-time thing where you linked, where my man said, because I'm not sugarcoating nothing. If it's a one-time thing where my man turned around and said, yo, sleep with this guy and used his first of all, P. Diddy is wrong for using his position. I'm going to tell you that straight. He's wrong for that. Thanks. He's wrong for that. So my man's using his position as a music mogul to use these up and coming artists. So that's wrong. So I'm gonna lead with that. However, as a woman who's got morals, yeah, you know it's wrong for a man that you're romantically involved with to have you sleeping with other men time after time. So you know that's wrong. You know that is wrong. You should not be doing that. Now,
and she's having to drink alcohol to get her into a state where she's able to do that. There's another red flag. Like if this isn't cool for me to do, Mark, and I've got to take Molly, as they call it now, and I've got to drink alcohol to do this, then why am I doing it?
That's the thing, no, but they're not gonna. She had to do that because she knew it was wrong. I'm gonna get into the Diddy things in a minute, but I'm just starting with Cassie. She knew that was wrong. She knew that no man who loves you would ask you to do that. Now, I'm not saying there ain't couples that do things that we wouldn't do. Of course there is, but week after week to be involved in that and to lose your self-respect and allow a man to have another man that you don't know from a can of paint sleep with you, and he was instructing her what to do according. This is what she said. This is what she said out of her own mouth. This is what she said. So what I'm saying is that's wrong. You know that's wrong. But the reason why she was there, call me a toxic master, call me all the words under the sun. That was about money, because you know what, Noble? Me and you can't get no woman. I mean, there's probably a couple guys who manipulate women and do all of that, but the average man, you ain't gonna get a woman to lose all her self-respect and do those things. And even if you're able to pull it off 1, 2, even 10 times, week after week over a number of years is crazy.
It's wrong, man.
It's absolutely crazy.
Wrong.
There's no excuse. My man could be, first of all, even if so when I've said this offline, this is what people have said offline. You can't say that. She was terrified of him. Okay. So she was terrified of P. Diddy, but yet she had 2 affairs while she was with him. You're terrified of him that much that he can tell you to sleep with a man week in, week out, but you had 2 affairs while you was with him. Now, I'm not saying P. Diddy's not a scumbag. I'm going to get to him in a minute. But I'm saying we cannot keep allowing people to not be held accountable for decisions that they made also. Your career benefited from getting ahead. You benefited from it was about money, just like how Young Miami right now, the girl that is with right now, talks about nothing but money and acting bad and doing all of this stuff and getting pissed on and doing all this stuff. What? So in 10 years, are we going to call her a victim? She knows what she's doing is wrong, but because my man's got money, that's how he's able to pull women 20 years younger than him. No normal man who's Diddy's age, who's working a 9-to-5 job, is pulling a Cassie. You pulled a Cassie because you've got money and power. And unfortunately, when you go into trade-offs for money and power, you give up your self-respect. Not people ain't going to talk it like this. But if I'm willing to do whatever it takes for money, I'm giving up my self-respect. Why you think enough man become bottom boys or whatever they call them? Where a man will go to gay village and sell his bottom. Why would you do that? Because it's about money. People are doing all this stuff for money. And then when they feel bad 20 years later, it becomes me too, where there's no accountability. Now, I'm still isolating this to the freak-offs, and I'm isolating it to what she did to Ryan Leslie and Aisha. I'm going to send you the other file, but what I'm saying is, she left the man. He brought her into the game. His career's over. We don't know nothing about my man no more. Why? Because Diddy liked his woman, and unfortunately, he didn't have no money, and his woman left him. Left him for a man. Left him for a man who was having her so next man's things while he played with himself. And we're going to sit here and say, oh, she was scared. So wasn't she scared in 2018 when she got up and left? We're not talking about George Fritzl, you know. We're talking about a music mogul who can only trick those who have a desire for money and power. If you don't have a desire for money and power, he can't trick you. Now, the beating, the alleged beatings and the alleged abuse, that's terrible. Now, that is completely terrible, and I believe that there's a lot. I personally believe the whole lot's true. Because he settled. You don't settle if it ain't true. And at the end of the day, my man...
We've had this conversation before about stars and settling, and I agree with you, Mark, but at the same time, we're not those people in it, and we're not, and obviously they've got money and all this business, but the longer that they fight something, whether it's true or not, right, the more the people are going to be, oh, so Diddy's in the court again for this and that, and unless he's found not guilty after a 3, 4, 5, whatever year process, the people are still going to have in his head, yo, Diddy, you know, he did that Cassie thing and they went in court for like 3 years and he got away with it, but he's got all the high-powered lawyers and shit, man. She ain't got the lawyers and thing, you know what I mean? So...
Noble. You see, this is why I'm glad we're on the stream live. Noble. If somebody... Let me ask you the question. So, just for 1 minute, pretend you're a woman. A man does all of this stuff that's been alleged. Well, it's not alleged. I think he did do it. But a man's done all this stuff to you. What are you doing, Noble? As a woman? What you going to do?
Well, me, okay, so I'm taking, it's me and I'm now, you know, in the essence.
Yeah.
I want justice, man. I want justice.
By way of
him going to court, but he's not going to serve any time because of how the court system is in America. But I want him to, unfortunately, as I say, because it's America, he's not going to do time. So he's going to have to pay like he weighs.
But you see, this is the problem. Why, if these things, I believe that Cassie had receipts because my man settled today. The case was worth, she was suing for $30 million. The case itself was over within 24 hours. So I believe that whatever she was going to show in court, because it was a civil case. Whatever she was going to show in court would have proven that my man done exactly what she said he did.
Yeah.
However, if I've been mistreated for 10 years, beaten, been forced to do all of this stuff, why am I only going after money? Why am I only going? I want to see that man behind bars.
You're only going at that. Civil, though.
It's civil, but there was no criminal ever filed.
Well, let's look. So this is what I mean by the state of the judicial system. The only reason it's civil because they can't find enough evidence to take it criminally. That's the only reason these, or in vice versa. Look at OJ. Look at poor Orenthal, whatever his damn name is, OJ Simpson. They tried him criminally all those times. Not in Nagwan.
Yeah.
They went for the civil thing.
But she's just gone straight in with civil, which I understand. I get it. Go after my man's money, hurt him in his pockets, but...
No, that's not the right thing. No, that's not the right thing. As I've said, if there's not enough evidence to go down the criminal route, then your only recourse is the civil route. And if you're saying she went straight civil, then what are we talking? We're not talking about real justice, are we?
She went civil. So no, it ain't real justice. You're going to get money, but basically, it's like the Michael Jackson case where he paid that youth 11 million. If my youth was to get touched, yeah, there's no money you could give me. And if people don't believe me, go and watch Dark Money. Go and watch Dark Money on Netflix right now. Watch Dark Money. Basically, it's a story of a boy who's in the equivalent of a Star Wars blockbuster movie. And he gets touched. A man gets him to play with his things. And when he does that, the family takes some millions in hush money and their life is never the same. It actually ruins the family. So people, what are we saying now? For rape, abuse and all that, as long as a man can pay, we good with that.
Nah.
That's basically the precedents that we're setting in this world. We're now saying...
Mark, they're setting. Don't put us in this.
No, I mean, not us, but the fact, if we can't call it out without being called victim shaming and all that, I'm just asking the question, if I listen to the case details and they are very, very brutal, the things that this young lady went through. So if that's the case, why is it just about money? So basically that money makes that better. So a man can do all them things to you. You probably, based on the case file, she could have easily slept with in excess of over 100 prostitutes.
Seriously?
Just Noble, every week, my man used to phone her and say, you know what time it is? One time her friends threw her, again, everything I'm saying is from the case. One time her friends threw her a party, a surprise birthday party. And at the birthday party, my man phoned her and said, leave that immediately. It's freak off time. Now I'm saying that was wrong. You know that's wrong. You know that's wrong. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be Bill Gates. It could be Elon Musk. You did that based on who that man was. Then it's like, oh, my man, people, everyone's scared of my man. Who's scared of Puff Daddy? In the industry, okay, maybe on the road he can use his money, but when he gets into things, people are always calling out Puff. The Locks called out Puff. 50 always plays around with him. Everyone's always calling him gay, all these things. So let's not make him into a top mafia boss now.
No. Hey, Mark, no.
Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Where you're going. I like where you're going, and you're right to a point, because Diddy has got some connections, boss.
I agree.
He's got some connections.
That money will definitely help.
Money goes. Look where he comes from. His Boulay heritage.
Definitely, because they said his baby mother. We don't want to get too much into that, but they said she was going to come out with a book before whatever happened to her. Now, what I'm saying to you is, when you got money, when someone's got money like what he's got, they're able to pay, just like how he paid her to make this go away. They're able to pay to get things done, just like how he's paid her to make this situation go away. My man can pay people to do things. Simple. I am Aisha Jade. I am comparing men and women because as a woman, like you're not. I don't want to make this sound bad, but as a woman, that doesn't automatically mean you're stupid. You're not. As a woman, you know right from wrong. But Cassie, let's call it what it is. She was young, and her career was on the way up, and it made sense to align herself with Diddy instead of Ryan Leslie, because Diddy has got money. Diddy makes stars, definitely back then anyway. So of course it made sense to align with him.
But again,
Men do it too.
You gotta know what comes along with that. There, you know what I mean? I can't get it. I can't. It doesn't make sense. It makes sense. It's an exchange ultimately. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play righteous advocate.
Yeah.
As youngsters, you know, as I've mentioned many a times on Saturday sessions, when I was like a young teenager, I was unrecognizable to the personage that you see today. Unrecognizable. Well, not that y'all see, but that y'all hear, right? So, and I can go back and say, yeah, I did some stuff that I'm not necessarily proud of. Here's the big juicy butts. I didn't do anything which, like, you know, like, you can check my jacket. I've got nothing to do with women. No sexual business, nothing like that. You check my background, you know what I was into back then. Like, so as I get older, I look back and say, yo, no, were you a crazy back then, man? What the fuck was you thinking? Like, why would you have done the type of things you've done? Now, let's put that into Cassie's case. She's young. Her frontal cortex hasn't formed because she's under 26.
I agree.
She did some shit that she shouldn't have fucking done.
I agree.
She's a big woman, and she's reflecting on her life. She's like, fucking raw. I let him do... Nah. But she's not talking about, as you've highlighted, I want to get this dude criminally done.
Yeah.
I want some real recompense, not financial, because I'm alright at the moment. I could be better, but I'm alright at the moment. No, this is where we go from that left path and that right path. Are we gonna seek retribution and justice for this here, or we just want the bag?
It's about the bag.
Want the bag?
It's about the bag. So what? This is what I don't like with today's generation. So Young Miami, I want everyone to just listen to Young Miami, the things that she says and does. So we're gonna make her a victim in 10 years when she realizes that when she realizes the effery that she was keeping up was wrong. Are we then gonna make her a victim? Now, Diddy, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Historically, when a man's in certain positions, just like how you see Diddy come to the UK, and we're the only podcast that mentioned this, he come to the UK, and all these same men that have been calling these men out for years, link my man immediately. And all these same men are right up under the same man who's alleged. We've heard that he's killed Tupac. We've heard that he's gay. We've heard that he plays with you. We've heard all kind of things. And as he come to UK, every man was behind him. You know why? For the same reason Cassie was behind him, because he has money and he has power. Take that away, no one's running behind him. Simple. He's got money, and these men have money, and they know the kind of people that they can use that money with.
Yep.